To the fact that EGM, like, because I was wondering if you're trying to attempt to do like what we've seen from Pylai Die, this early Iron Talon, and then just stack and flash farm. Obviously they have an Alchemist on their team, so he's probably going to be looking for that as well. But it's just this burst levels the AI has been able to take out of the jungle.
They have cleared the trees, so he can't double stack. I think EGM's just going to do the old style of Wisp. Help out mid, help out top, and stack whenever he can.
Looks to be the plan. So let's get our laning phase underway and see how they roll out. So Unison Farm versus MP on the lone druid. Puppy will be down there on the bottom lane as well. And Puppy gets a freebie as well. He just was able to find the Observer Ward with a sentry. So we'll even free up the camp before the 30-second mark. Nice little plus for him. So Paladai and mid one together up against Limp in the mid. He's got a little bit of help from EGM, but EGM's primary job is still going to have to be to, one, babysit at the very, very start, but two, move back and continue the stacks. Then up towards the top lane, it is Keizu on the off lane as the Omni Knight up against Lotus,
Puppy.
Lifestealer, and...
Puppy's going for the chicken snipe. He didn't get it.
With boots and sprint, he'll do a pretty damn good job for it.
Yeah, 401 move speed. Would have been all right for him. So let's see EGM stack. Will he get both of them? Is he missing something? Hello.
He gets both. Absolutely perfect. It's alright, relax. We have Rob running around making sure we sound perfect.
Oh, they couldn't hear me?
Obviously not.
Oh.
Bit of a problem. Top lane, Keizu. He's actually dropping pretty damn low. Hanskin doesn't have another stun available, and Purification is also there. But Omni Knight just wanting to burn the salve, and obviously not the last bit of mana that he has available. Might force some kind of movement up, because right now Omni Knight's, I suppose he's getting levels. So it's not that bad for him on this off lane.
I would really like to see Loda get a Blightstone in this lane, though. I saw him last time, he got a Windlace instead of a Blightstone, and Blightstone is really, really good, especially in combination with the BS. Yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah, so everyone right now just trying to scramble for whatever they can find in the lanes. Any kind of farm. Pylai Die being a pain in the butt to Limp once again, but EGM is here. And while EGM is here with bottle charges, this is more burning of harassment than anything else. And in fact, battling through the acid spray is not working out that great for Team Secret. Paladai cops a hell of a lot of damage. But mid one is staying on top of the CS against Limp.
And they're also forcing Wisp to stay around. Looks like he will get that bottom rune. 3 charges to the bottle with the arcane. Bounty runes have not yet been picked up by the Dire side. Limp might be able to get like the 355 and the 4-minute bounty rune bottom if they play super greedily.
Yeah, right now it's like he just doesn't want to leave the lane for the moment. There's still a lot of farm. The creep wave's pushing in towards his tower, so it's completely understandable.
He wants the XP. He's had to share XP with the Wisp, so you don't really want to be 200 level. You need your 6 ASAP.
Alright, so what's the real timing we're looking for here? Like, everyone's taking their farm. What changes the laning phase? We've seen a little bit of rotations. Are we waiting for an item? Are we waiting for a level?
Oh, he might get the bear kill on bottom. Oh,
good money.
Man.
But he may lose his life for it, however. He really committed in for that. No battery assault available. Puppy right behind him, but his movement speed with the boots and then the cogs pushing him back.
That's 300 gold and 300 experience, the clockwork. MP. Lone Druid usually crushes this lane too. Clockwork's not a terribly easy matchup, but he was able to actually get the pushback on the bear and the extra gold. That's huge. The question you mentioned earlier, I think it's when Lone Druid hits 7. That's when they start demolishing buildings with Blightstone generally.
Wow. Damage into mid. That's going to be first blood. He ignited most of the work, but with that long range attack that comes out of Metamorphosis,
and with the
it was enough to put the IO down.
Whew, Bloodlust is quite the spell.
And this will actually mean with the bounty disappearing to do the farming as well as the bounty rune.
The double bounty rune.
Mid one will get some good damage onto this mid tower. Won't be enough to bring it down, but at least it's enough that when he triggers Metamorphosis again, if they do find a kill, they'll have a chance to pick it off.
Kezu's also getting really good farm top. He almost has his arcane boots.
But Invis Puppy rotating down to bottom lane. He's not going to find what he's looking for because Unison Farm's moving over for what I assume is a hopeful attempt at a bounty rune. Unless he thinks he can find another gank elsewhere. But the Radiant Observer Ward just scouted him moving. So mid one is very aware of what's happening and just moves to the northern side of the mid lane.
They don't really have any kill potential either. Maybe if Wisp comes in, I guess you can like tether from behind, but you'd have to go in pretty deep close to the tower. Puppy trying to get some eyes on Innocent Fawn, but he is heading back to deflect this push.
Cage's had a really good time up on this top lane.
Yeah,
he's got the same amount of net worth as a Clockwork, who was able to kill off a bear. But it's also the amount of experience. Like you're saying neck and neck with him up against what is a 1-on-2 lane.
Yeah, Hanskin also doing pretty decently in terms of levels, but Secret definitely gonna start taking down all the towers, force Alchemist to kind of squeeze in the area that he can potentially stack and farm.
There's a lot of farm there. The Observer Ward just got dewarded. It was a bit of a search mission from Puppy as well as Pylight Eye, so they know exactly what's going on, and this has to be a point of contention. They can't let Alchemist take the huge amount of stacks that have been prepared by Alliance.
Yep, everyone's drawing a line there, but they're going to have to go in pretty deep without the T1 down in mid. And mid one's heading over to that. He does have meta. Is it going to be worth it? Actually,
level 3 Metamorphosis. Yeah, they're bringing almost everybody. The only one who's not coming is Lone Druid. And he can probably take the T1 tower anyway. Mid one, yep, he triggers up Metamorphosis. EGM is there, now Limp will come over, and the TPs are coming. They're going to contest the money if they can hold on to it. Keizu still has Guardian Angel. He'll trigger it up now. They're inside the Spray in mid one. What's he actually got? Has he got enough damage? With a Reflect, Lotus not looking healthy with a hookshot fall from Unison Farm. Mid one's dropping down quickly. He has no Sunder. He has no life. Unison Farm will take the kill. Mid one goes down. Everybody from Alliance rotated over. And even MP came in. He didn't finish up the bottom tower. He's now chipping into the mid. But Alchemist is forced to stay up here and finish up the stacks.
That's just a really hard place to gank.
Pylight Eye, Battery Assault.
They were able to get the Observer Ward down, though. It doesn't block the camp, but it will still scout them in case they want to make a smoke maneuver. So
did it actually get scouted? Like, didn't he throw it down underneath them?
The Observer Ward, I don't believe so. They tried to drop a sentry to the south side, close to the shrine, but there wasn't not a Observer Ward there. It wasn't actually that bad for Secret. Of course, they blew meta and they it caused Teared Blade's life, but they did get the shrine usage. I think is pretty important in that territory, and they did
actually
get
take
a little
some
bit
of the camps.
Yeah, they did, but I think As a Spray cleaned up like 7, 8 of the creeps.
Well, Puppy's taking the space now on bottom lane after Lone Druid rotated towards the mid. And that's that chip damage we're talking about, bringing the tower down low, but not within deny range. Keizu's able to hold the mid lane, and they push mid one to the top. So it's another 43 seconds before he's got the Metamorphosis back up again. So that's a long time before he can add pressure. Puppy, a lot of pressure on him, gets locked inside the cogs, and that's one very dead Slaughter. Already is with Sprint on, so he's going to take that bonus damage.
This Clockwork has been destroying this entire qualifiers. This game is no exception. Mid one trying to right click on top tower. I'm surprised they have no Blightstone. Blightstone is so good at sieging. And that's really what they're trying to do all in this early game. They do have the Basilius on the Lone Druid and the Aquila on the Terrorblade, so they can push multiple lanes at once with that extra armor. And MP will get that last hit.
Yep. And notice where they're moving. They're moving north. I'm wondering if this is also, like, once they try and take out that top tower, they're able to... It should be fine. Savage Roar. Great ability. Balanced. But by taking out this, they're going to start controlling Alliance's jungle. And in return, Alchemist's farm area. And they're not mucking around.
Down a lot. Normally he's like 1,000 to 1,500 net worth above the enemy team right now, but after this tower, he's just going to be neck and neck with the Lone Druid. This is not really that great for him. He's still working on his armlet. Just needs the recipe.
Can they push hard enough for the tier 2?
I
don't know if they can take it.
Meta is still halfway up, but
with Bloodlust, they might be able to just have enough damage to take it.
Yeah, maybe if they Bloodlust the bear. But
they're rotating down, and already you can see mid one TPing out, headed towards the mid where there's farm.
grass is a little greener.
Yusufam's looking for another hook if he can get it. Right now, Poppy just wants his level 6. He wants to bring amplification to the fight. If he can get the farm for his Blink Dagger as well, then that's obviously going to be great. But this will come as Team Secret group up next Metamorphosis and force down another tower.
Rocket comes out, scouts out Kezu. Now they kind of know exactly where the Fun is, but it is just going to be the 10-minute bounty that will be taken by him. Puppy very scared to venture out versus the Clockwork.
MP, however, is not scared to venture out against EGM. The tether over, but it's not going to save his life. The bear didn't even get an entangle, but it doesn't matter. MP just hits like a truck. Came in with Bloodlust on, the phase boost for the movement speed. No way for EGM to get out. And no one to tether to because Unison Farm just bailed to go and pick up the bounty runes.
Unison poised up for a hook shot on the right side. He's going to need probably Venge to come in with him, I think. If they actually want a kill, this is going to be extremely difficult, especially with Paladin pinging out exactly where he expects Clockwork to be.
Are they really ready to fight, though? Like, I'm looking up towards Loda. He's building into his armlet now, but he went for this first item, Hand of Midas. I know it's the Loda special, but does this not delay you a little bit too much?
They think that they can hold off with the acid spray. And he's not that far behind on the Alchemist. He's not super far ahead, but he should still be able to get his Radiance. It's not one of those games where you're going to get your Radiance at like 25 or something ridiculously slow. But yeah, it's greedy. Bow show.
Hook shot, perfect, right on the money. Hits Keizu, he'll repel up. He's still got Purification available as well. Has to cut his way through the cogs first, and then Savage Roar will create just a little bit of space.
I do not think he actually needed to roar there. I think they could have gotten a lot of damage on that clock. But Wisp was sitting right behind him.
It's a low cooldown timer. Seems more like safety than anything else. And even if he felt like he was burning too much mana, like it's not that much. And he had the arcane boost from Omni Knight. There's your rotation from Hanskin, so VS is now going to be on the bottom lane with her swap. And Yusufam just there to keep the creep wave at bay. And then feed some cogs as well. VS able to find the illusion rune. Metamorphosis, there is the fortification. Just making this a little bit more difficult for Secret to finish the job quickly. And if they really want to come in, Loda can be relocated in. But right now there is no opportunity.
They need the TV back on the bear to heal it up. I think they need as many lives on the bear as possible right now.
And there it goes.
And on the bear, pick up whatever items, then head back. He has a hammer in his stash, so they can do a lot more damage when that bear's at full HP. LT have to worry about it. I think it's worth it to hookshot the bear just to slow them down a little bit and get the kill if it's at critical HP, anything less than 500 or so. They do have the relocate ready. EGM sitting out top right behind Loda.
And Loda's going to beat into that top tower. Remember, no blight stones, so no negative armor for the tower. And each time Team Secret defend this tier 1 tower, they don't just let it go. They might have a little bit of trouble doing that because mid one is now isolated. The relocate is on the way. Loda and EGM will arrive, and it is Loda who gets the paw swipe in. At the same time, the T1 tower will be denied up on top, and no one else is really coming to help this out. In fact, it's Pylai Dai who's trapped in the tree line. Io went back up all by his little lonesome, and Pylai Dai will have to die for no real cause on the bottom lane. If they finish him. That's if they finish him. Concoction? Really? Okay, Link's gonna stun himself because Loda just paw swiped it.
MP wasn't able to get the kill on the Wisp on top too. Wisp relocated back so low. MP wasn't sure whether it was going to be Wisp plus Lifestealer or just Wisp, so he decided to not stay right on top of the relocate. But I think Alliance is doing very well in this early mid. They've kind of staved off the early game jungle invasion from Team Secret. They're getting decent farm in the Alchemist. This Radiance is going to come out in maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Especially if he gets both bounty runes.
It's not too shabby. It's not as fast as we've seen some of the Alchemists achieve it, even with the
They
armor.
devoted a lot of resources to try and stop it, though.
Yeah.
They threw like 2 or 3 observer wards up into the jungle. A
They
third
committed
one
a
up there right now.
Four-man movement up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 5.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Lone Druid came, but he was a little too late to the party. But the rotation did happen. But with that, does that still spell advantage in the fights? Now you get the Blink Dagger over on Puppey, so you get the aggression that comes out from him. Mid one is rapidly approaching his Manta style.
Dire's middle tower
I don't know how effective the push is going to be, though. Like, Lifestealer is pretty fat. He's going to have Dezo, I think, by the time they fight, and Alchemist almost has Radiance. So, how do Slardar, Ogre, Terrorblade, these heroes are not that great at split pushing out the lanes. I think Terrorblade is the best of the 3, but only when he gets his Manta style, so he can have kind of a constant wave of illusions. But
I'm wondering if they're even thinking about split pushing, if it's not just a race. How much damage can you do before Alliance have to fall back?
yeah, looks like they are at least going to knock on this T2. They are scared about a wraparound on the backside, but Terrorblade is not over here, and Secret do not feel comfortable. They have to place in Reservoir Ward to make sure that no one wraps around on the Shrine.
So where's the vision? Like, it's just, okay, no wraparound on the Shrine, but they don't see anybody coming in from the tier 3s. Do you bail out now? The top tier 2 tower was hardly touched, so if they want to move, they can either be straight towards the mid where the tier 2 tower, because no one's stopping this movement from Team Secret yet.
Mid one, about to get perhaps hookshot with the Lifestealer bomb instead. Oh, they hookshot onto MP. He TP'd onto the Shrine.
And then you get the entangle, so Loda still has to stay exactly where he is. And there's your relocate for the double crush from Puppey. Amplification on the IO. EGM is dropping quickly, but he's got the distance away, blocked out by the cogs, but Limp was locked down, unwillingly standing there. You got an extra entangle, actually hits on EGM, so he'll tick out when he relocates away to safety, at least what he thought was safety. And then mid one doing the job onto Hanskin in the mid lane. Now they can push that tier 2 tower pretty unobstructed. Huge fight. And in fact, they're not even going for the tier 2 tower in mid. They're knocking on Roshan.
No way to get the amp on right now. Puppey's actually too low on mana to cast 2 amps. So he's actually going to just amp creeps and run away for now. Terrorblade still doing a lot of damage in the fights, showing why it was such a great last pick. They can't take down all the illusions, and he was just chucking balls at people. What does Terrorblade actually throw out with his hands when he's in meta?
Well, when he's in Metamorphosis?
Yeah, what does he throw?
I would assume Dark Spirit.
I'll have to get a closer look. We need to see some showcase view on that.
Well, okay, we'll have to
When
wait
he's in
72
meta.
seconds for it.
Yeah,
I
want to see it.
And when he commits.
I'm sure there's some super cool detailed projectile that he throws out.
He'll do it like Goku, man. He's taking his internal energy. That's why it takes so long to build up the eternal energy. He's sucking it from the world of Dota. Mid one's in trouble, locked inside the cog, and with a relocate in, okay. They really wanted that kill. And they got it.
I'm surprised he didn't go for Pike, but he wants the...
He was on bottom. I was wondering exactly where Aya was coming back, and Team Secret knew. They're a 3-man group waiting for him.
Worth.
Seems to be. As Limp continues his farming spree.
That's a tough choice for Terrorblade, though, to go for Manta over to Pike, because Pike is going to be your main save versus like if you get swapped in, if Lifestealer open wounds you, or if Clockwork hook shots cogs you, which has been the case. But he's going for a more teamfight oriented build with the Manta style. Wants that huge damage output from the 2 extra illusions.
Because it's still about the numbers, right? Like it's having the overwhelming numbers that the Lions can't deal with.
But there's another way to view it too. If you don't die because you're farming out solo because you do have a Hurricane Pike, you can have like Hurricane Pike and Manta, perhaps, maybe like a minute later after you would have just Dragon Lance and Manta style. So
Manta is more of a, I need to make sure my pushes work after I get this to then get the money, as opposed to surviving to get the money.
I think they're just
Alright,
scared of
this mid
getting
one.
too late.
No one's attacking him, so we can have a, we can have a look.
has fallen.
We need him to attack a neutral.
Is it from like his chest or from like his
I'm
hands?
fairly certain it comes from his arms. Okay, now we just smoked up. And the illusions aren't... Oh, come on, mid one. We're running experiments here during the middle of a grand final. No, good opening. Puppey, Blink, Crush. They infested in quickly, so at least he dodged the extra one. But Unison Farm, hook over. This doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. I got this, bro. There you go. So what is it? It comes from his paw.
Huh. Cool fire pulse.
Yeah, he's throwing energy sprites.
Oh, that bear is
yeah.
dead.
Open wounds. Bear doesn't survive long up
Oh,
against that.
The tower got the last hit though. I'm sure Alchemist would have loved to get that. But now there's no meta. That's not so bad, all things considered, but they are going to head into Roche, I believe. Right now, are Alliance going to want to take a fight without Metamorphosis? They definitely need to shoot a Rocket Flare inside if they want to at least check. And Secret decide against it.
Yeah, they're focusing more on the buildings now. Take out the tier 2 tower. It may also just be safer, right? Like you take out the towers, you then establish vision around the Alliance base. So you know when they're going to come out, so you can back out from Roshan if you want to. Alliance actually burned a smoke, and they're walking into the pit. They realize no one's here, and they're going to attempt it themselves. But the ping, it came so quickly.
Mid one was already there with the... Oh my goodness, this thing's already going to die. They can't
It's so quick. They're coming in, but the cogs from Unison Farm is the perfect block. And Alliance now just want to get out of here. You've got the quick reflect, EGM, able to tether up to the hill, but it's not so happy for Hanskin. Lim still wants to be part of the fight, but he's amplified up. He doesn't have Chemical Rage for this fight, so it's all up to Loda to do the damage and to keep Team Secret away. But then Loda gets entangled. The hook shot is on the back lines, but the Sunder, the life is being split. Loda will fall inside the river as well. Unison Farm will join the list of the dead on the wall as Alliance lose 3. They may have taken Roshan.
Unless EGM gets a TP out. Nope.
It is 4.
They could have just backed out, I think, and just lost Venge. But they decided that they wanted to go on the Terror Blade.
They have to force buybacks now? Because they're going to lose tier 3 tower mid.
I think Lifestealer is... actually, Alchemist does have his... Oh, wait, he doesn't have his...
Yeah, Metamorphosis is now up. Chemical Rage is not available. It's wearing out now, and he didn't have it during the entire engagement either. So Acid Spray is slowing the push. They lose the bear for the second time. But MP is still strong. He's now got a fresh bear up and running. They trigger off the shrine, so Limp has a little bit more life to survive. The concoction flies forward. It's going to hit onto MP. Hanskin not really in range for the swap just yet. And Limp, who does he really want? He has the Aegis Immortal. MP, he can't die now. He only just summoned up the fresh bear and gets caught out by Unison Farm, who TP'd out to the shrine. An unstoppable streak has been ended by... Wait, was that... Yeah, ended by Unison Farm. It was his. For shrines now.
I think they need to end the game pretty quickly. Alchemist is a ticking time bomb, and it's been delayed, it's been diffused for quite some time, but perhaps not enough. And mid one is going to take the shrine out, I believe, after Pilotite set some proximity wards.
Yeah, just look at it. Now they'll do it. It just makes sense. Like they tried to fall out before after they took the objective. Like they still got the objective they wanted. The issue is the fact that they could have someone TP in behind them, and if the next port of call is going to be the top lane, they won't care about the bottom shrine. It's just this one shrine to allow Alliance to potentially flank them quickly.
Alchemist needs to get as much gold as possible in this next minute. If he can have Manta before the next fight, then it's going to be huge.
The tier 1 tower will help him there. In fact, it's going to get him there. He now has the money, can buy the full Manta. The courier's already on the way.
Yeah, the Manta is a huge deal for him.
It looks like also Loda, he's got the Javelin over on the courier, so he's tossing up. How much surplus has he got? Okay, only barely enough, but it's not enough to buy the Basher. But he'll have buyback if Team Secret wanted to force the issue.
Does he not have the Bastion?
No.
I think he has the Bastion.
Oh, it's in his stash.
Yeah.
I thought it was in, I was reading his quick buy. There we go. He has the Basher.
That's pretty good timing from him. Alchemist's farm is about to get out of control. Net worth lead just 3,000 in favor of Secret. But Alchemist is one of the few heroes that actually doesn't care too much about that melee racks being down. He still gets, probably like 80% gold from Agreeable's Greed and everything else from that mid wave. So it's not a huge loss in the economy department. And they don't really have good ways to deal with the Alch.
I was actually looking at mid one because I thought he'd build into something big like a Skadi, and okay, now he's actually switched himself over to the Skadi. Originally, he was looking at Diffusal Blade, was in his quick buy, but his money is rising so quickly that it seems to be easy enough just to go in for the full Skadi. And MP's adding pressure on the bottom lane. He could do this solo if he wants to.
They're pinging out though. They can relocate with the Clockwork perhaps.
Yeah.
Actually,
and with
Clockwork,
Unison Farm?
yeah, he does have someone inside of him.
Yeah, it's the lifestealer. The issue is he needs vision. This is the vision he's currently got, so the rocket flies out, but doesn't see Pilot Eye and sees KZU way too late.
They have a gem on Omni Knight, bought by Puppy. Puppy's actually very farmed. He's managed to pick up Blink 4 staff, he bought a gem too, and he almost has BKB. What on earth? I guess that's what happens when you get this many towers and one racks this early.
Yeah, the money just spills out. Like their advantage is still only 3,000 gold advantage. Obviously, a large amount of that money for Alliance is sitting inside the Alchemist, as he's at 19,000 net worth. Team Secret, Blink, Crush Ball, they found the Vengeful Spirit, and they've killed the Vengeful Spirit. Loader also burnt his his Rage, and the player, no, it's down too far. They have to call it back up into a fighting position. As long as it stops taking damage.
Wisp is going to die though.
Yeah, he'll come back out. So that's
Maybe,
both supports
maybe
down.
he can tether.
Unison Farm? He's trying to stay close enough for the tether. Not possible.
They did actually waste another 12 seconds out of meta with that. So meta only has about 20 seconds left, and that is actually not going to be enough to do anything. Do some destruction to the base. Unison fan looking for a hook shot. There is an observer ward that is going to scatter him out though, but I don't know if they know that the life shield is inside of them, but they still are wary for the relocate that it is going to follow.
If Unison Farm is being that aggressive, you have to assume the lifesteal is inside.
So now they Team Secret can think about doing Roche again. Last time they definitely at least could have hung around a little bit closer to the pit, but that was a very sneaky maneuver by Alliance. But I doubt that Secret will be fooled twice by the exact same thing. Can't underestimate that. They could also like have had a medallion on top with hand skin and would go down even quicker this time. So they still need to stay around that area with multiple illusions.
They're going to be a lot more confident going into the next fight too. Like mid one with a full Skadi up and the double Hurricane Pikes. And even then you got the Mjolnir fully finished over on Lone Druid. It's not going to be terrific if he loses his bear right now on the sides, and that's exactly what Alliance is looking to do. 3 paw swipes, and actually they give the last little hit into Limp. So extra cash for him, and looking to get very close towards that Octarine on the Alchemist.
He just picked up a casual plate mail. He had the AC on quick buy earlier, but looks like he wants the Octarine instead.
It's the older build of the Alchemist, the one we've been more used to in the past. Here comes the push from Team Secret. Limp is here to defend it. Metamorphosis, 16 seconds away. So a little bit longer to wait. Thanks to their Observer Ward, they do know that Unison Farm was coming back, but it's not going to be an opportunity for a kill. Poppy's looking forward. He'll find Loader, but no one else is close enough to him. But now they have it. The Observer Ward, it pays dividends. Unison Farm came back over again. That's a huge one. 46 seconds without the clockwork. A window has been opened.
Alchemist can delay it a lot. It looks like TB did not commit Metamorphosis, and they are going to head bottom immediately after seeing Limp on top.
Yep. This should be bottom racks unless Alliance can achieve something absolutely amazing. Puppey already jumps in, gets a stun on the Alchemist. He's losing life quickly. The stun is on Terrorblade. Remember, he's still got the Sunder available, plus the GA. Keizu keeping everyone alive. Mid one still dropping down low. Limp gotta be careful. There goes that Sunder. Manta and then dodge out. Everyone wants to bail. The buyback was forced, I believe. Yes, it was by the Clockwork.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Team Secret may just be happy with this.
Especially if they can get Roshan. Keizu drawing a rather rectangular circle around Roche.
You still got a minute waiting. That's a little too long for him. At least it actually gives time for Alliance to clean up the mid lane before then looking over to Roshan. And the Observerward vision isn't actually perfect for Team Secret to have the fight around Roshan. It's a little bit too far to the north.
They have really good vision around that area, though, so they know whether or not Alliance is actually going to contest that. Alliance desperately need a gem at this point, I think. They have lost so many of their structures inside their base that they can't really venture out that far. Everyone has to like push out lanes in the mid and bottom when they don't feel very comfortable doing so because it's dark. And they look at all the sentries that they've placed and hasn't caught the Observer wards.
That Octarine is done. No buyback though. Okay, if he can find some time to farm, but right now he's not really finding a lot to farm.
Another infest inside of the Clockwork. I haven't seen any of these work out successfully for him yet. Maybe that one kill on Terrorblade, but they need Roche. Both teams need Roche. Secret can close out the game or attempt to close out the game with it, and Alliance, they need it as their lifeline.
Well, the big man is up, but Limp just TP'd back to base, so they got a 24-second window before Limp can return, and even then he needs a creep wave in close, and that window is way, way too big. That's a very dead Roshan. It is so much damage.
They had Solar Crest on Ogre Magi. Solar Crest makes a world of difference in situations like that. It makes it from, like, you can think about contesting it to you have 5 seconds.
Yep. And you're noticing what the other items are coming up. Monkey King Bar over on the Terrorblade. The same's being built up by the Lone Druid. In fact, he's already got the Javelin on the Courier. Probably just waiting for that last little bit of money to finish the job. And in fact, he just got it.
This is going to take a miracle hold from Alliance. I think they actually have to fight outside the base before Terrorblade sets up. If they can force the meta outside of the base before he starts right-clicking the tower, then they can probably stall out the entire Aegis. But
that's difficult to do. Like, the only way they're going to get that is if Team Secret are initiating on someone who's out of position.
Or if Clockwork gets a hook shot on someone like, let's say, the Omni Knight, and they can attempt to burst him down before anything happens.
Oh boy, the perfect 32-minute rune for Team Secret. A nice double damage, and they're already pinging it out for MP. Unless they want to give it to Terrorblade. MP looks like he's hitting harder than anyone else right now.
Mid one has the higher white damage, though, especially when he has meta. So double damage is going to give him like 250-ish damage.
Here they come. Loader is the bait. Let's see if they take it, and yep, they do. Loader unable to get the rage off in time, and the hookshot forward. Innocent Farm couldn't do anything. The amount of damage he's taking is ridiculous. Mid one, the attack never dissipated. Vengeful Spirit gets stunned up. He'll go down as well. They're waiting in a ceremonial position for EGM, and now he'll tether up. The Ghost Scepter buys a little bit of time, but there's Angry Bears on the front lines, and Loader is a triple kill and die back over on him. EGM will fall as well, and that's the game. There is no way Alliance can defend against that Team Secret. Game one, it goes to the boys that everyone knows, Team Secret.
My god, Terrorblade probably hit for like 900 damage a shot with the amp in the medallion. I think he like 2 or 3 shot the life stealer. That was insane. Yeah. Couldn't ask for a better rune at that exact moment in time.